In Vermont Advocates, we look at local advocacy groups which play a key role in promoting awareness and encouraging action in our community. In this episode, we will focus on two climate change groups, Run on Climate and the Vermont Energy Education Program, who do work to pass local policies, practice to reduce greenhouse gas emissions, and educate kids about sustainability.
As far as Run on Climate, I co-founded that with two other organizers that I've worked with a lot here in Burlington. In 2021. So in 2019 I ran for city council and was elected and really ran on a platform of climate action as my top priority. The goal of Run on Climate is to advance cutting edge, really ambitious climate policy at the municipal level. We're trying to really get involved in communities that can play a leadership role on climate policy. Communities like Burlington that have a strong culture around taking climate action. We want to work with leaders in those communities to ensure they're moving as quickly as possible and are implementing some really model cutting edge policies that can lead the way for other communities and for the state and federal level.
My name is Phoebe Malczewski and I'm the operations director here at Run on Climate. I've been doing kind of climate politics work since about 2019, and so we work out of a co-working space which is really unique. It's called Democracy Creative is the host, and it's really unique because we're able to interact with different members of different nonprofits doing incredible work all around the state of Vermont and elsewhere, and really just have that collaborative space while we're working on our own organization and our own projects to be able to hear what other people are up to and the change that they're making. There's a lot of stuff that goes on in this space. I think a good example is a couple months back we threw a benefit concert, co-fundraiser for both Run on Climate and for this space, Democracy Creative. We try to be all-inclusive, kind of span every age group, and I think we have something unique to offer kind of every span of life. And then we also really try to interact with all the different segments of the communities to push forward, community activism about climate. Just the other day we went to Rally for the Planet, which was this group of high schoolers from all across the state that were rallying on the State House lawn. We got some really interesting perspectives, just kind of looking towards the future and just kind of the hopes that we'll get rolling on some climate action in the near future so that our young folks can really be sure to have that future that they deserve.
As we shift our focus from the urgent need to address the climate crisis with Run on Climate, let's take a moment to highlight the Vermont Energy Education Program, which teaches young people to take action towards a sustainable future through education and hands-on learning.
So our goal in the long run is that every kid in every school in Vermont and New Hampshire and beyond, frankly, has a good understanding of where energy comes from and how we use it and how our use of that energy impacts the climate. We have developed some really great tools for that, both in the curriculum and in the hands-on equipment, and so we want to bring that to as wide an audience as possible.
I do think kits like this should be taught in every school. The benefit of understanding energy systems is something that's really not taught much in schools. How do you turn on a light? Well, you flip the switch, but what does that actually mean? Where does that power come from? And how does that affect your life? And then how can you use that? About climate change in Vermont, I think it's happening now. This is winter of 23, was crazy weather-wise, super warm, cold snaps, and we have those every year, but it seems to me like they're becoming more and more extreme. I think we need to tackle it as quickly as possible.
Right, and really it's that aspect of trying to combat climate depression and climate anxiety that is just so real, and these kids not really necessarily feeling supported or understood. And so part of it is the community of getting young people together who are like-minded, and the empowerment that one feels through that, as well as the empowerment of actually being able to take action.
We all need to understand this. We're all on one planet, and the kids that are in kindergarten through third grade right now are going to be living with this all their lives. So our approach has to be different depending on the age of the kid, We need younger folks to understand their place on this planet and realize that their choices have impacts, but we also need them to still be involved in a way that is positive and not anxiety producing.
Vermont Advocates showcases the important work being done by these groups. It's through collective action and a commitment to positive change that we can create a more sustainable and equitable future.